Ryan, that is Shane, and this is the Popcast. Welcome, everybody, to the Friday Night Pickle Party!
Woo!
How's it going, Shane?
Man, it's been one really weird week. I feel like it just started, now it's over. Or I feel like we were sitting here just shortly ago.
Yeah, we were, actually.
We were just doing this, right?
Yeah, we were, for all you non-members out there, you might not know that we went live on Wednesday talking about the Strange New Worlds Kirk thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're a member of the show, which we actually have a member section going later on, we'll be there. And it's one of the tiers. You can actually get breaking news that we will cover live for you. And we had a good one this week with Captain Kirk, which we're going to be talking about in the show.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, what else is going on, dude?
Just in life in general.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Kids have been on half days all week, so it's been rambunctious around the house. But better to have them than not.
Oh my God! Thank you. They can hear you on the other stream, but in the members stream, you were muted.
I was muted.
Sorry, Ken.
It's all right. They never want to hear me in the member stream. So yeah, so today they're running around. They went to the beach. They're just out having a ball, and we're here working. What are we missing out on here?
Yeah, my wife got home from work and she was like, I was like, hey, what's for dinner? And she's like, I don't know what you're eating for dinner, but I'm taking off right now. I'm like, cool. Thanks for letting me be involved. She goes, you got the kids later. And she just took off.
Got the kids, figure out food. You know what that sounds like? It sounds like a Little Caesars pizza night for $5.99 large cheese pizza.
I can't.
Am I right?
I'm back on my diet, man.
No, I'm talking about for the kids. We don't get to have that.
No, see, and the problem is, okay, if I order them pizza, I'll break down and I'll eat the pizza. So if you guys have been watching this for a while, there was a time where I was really, really big. Like 5 years ago when we started this. And then I got really skinny. And then I started to get big again.
It's the...
Right?
Yes.
Now,
yes.
I'm not at my own levels at like 380 pounds or so, But I gained 60 or 70 pounds during the whole COVID pandemic thing because I was like, oh, well, gyms aren't open. Might as well eat 10,000 calories a day.
Yeah, well...
So now I'm back. Now I'm back on the decline, and I gotta keep it that way. Which means, instead of your normal jovial Brian, you usually get this like miserable, brooding Brian because I'm tired and hungry all the time.
When I show up at the studio on Tuesdays when we record our script for the Popcast Prime channel, Brian's like over the top of his monitor like this, looking at me.
I'm like, "What do you want? Why are you here?" If we're gonna record, I'm like, "Oh God, we gotta do that still, though."
We got to do that again. I'm so hungry.
Did you bring me anything? Where's the Coke?
Right.
Coke
Here's
Zero.
some water.
Coke Zero.
I got some Perrier, grapefruit, something or other.
All right, man. Well, let's get into the show. I know. What are we talking about today? We are talking about the Peacemaker opening sequence in Legoland or Legofied. We're gonna be talking about Picard season 2, episode 3. We're gonna break that down. Let you guys know what we thought. This is so far my least favorite of the 3, so it's gonna be a nice discussion. And then Darth and Luke cut from the Obi-Wan series. New Kirk in Strange New World. Samuel Jackson basically cursing out DCEMU movies.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. He disses on him, though.
I mean, listen. Even when he's saying nice things, he's usually cursing. So I'm probably not that far off.
Okay, we'll have to see.
And we got a special guest, Professor Alex Silver, coming on. If you guys like Pokemon, stick around for that guy. He's a good dude. And for the member section, Scott Bakula will not be in Quantum Leap. Everyone, press F in the chat because Quantum Leap is over. But on a good note, Stargate might have a chance because it looks like Amazon was able to close that deal, and Khan was not able to succeed over the Amazon merger yet. yet.
Mm.
And Star Trek Discovery decides it wants to continue to destroy the franchise.
I saw that. I'm like, oh my god, they said they're gonna mess with old Trek. What's going on?
God, what is going? What
bad
is this
and good
TV
news.
show, man?
It's like bad and good news. Like what it really is it's really just like it's like when a bully's like standing over you and gonna punch you in the face. Like you don't know if they're actually gonna do it. You know, it's like
no, it's a thing where they have the
TOS guys.
They have the loogie dripping from their mouth. They're like, no.
Yeah.
Look, look. If you guys like Discovery, that's fine. Okay, you can like it, 100%. But for us, it's just gotten progressively worse and worse and worse. And we don't want to criticize people that like it because it's art is subjective. But
I got it figured
so
out.
much to criticize about this show, and we can't get past it.
Yeah, I got it figured out actually, Brian. I got a great when we get to it today. I'm gonna have a great example of why it's okay not to like it, and we don't have to hate anybody for liking it or not liking it.
What I don't understand is some of the people that like get mad when you criticize it. They're like, "Oh, well, you're just
no, you're dumb." What?
Insert adjective here. I don't know, man. All right, so let's get straight into the news. We are talking about Peacemaker's opening dance number now being animated with James Gunn's approval. So Shane, everyone knows how much, if they watch the show, they know how much we love Peacemaker. So show us what's going on with this, because I know you love the Lego movies. Like you love them.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get into this, I'm sorry. If you've ever called Shane in real life, Shane is an older man, a professional, right? And when you call his phone number, it's everything is awesome.
That's right.
And it's not just the song. It's him and his kids singing the Everyday is Awesome.
Together.
Everything is
That's
awesome.
Right.
Yeah. So if Shane is a massive fan of Lego movies, and if you knew Shane, like Shane's, lighthearted and nerdy, but there's a side of Shane that works his butt off. He's a very
serious,
wearing a tie kind of guy. And when you call him on the phone, it's like, everything is awesome. I can just imagine some executive calling there, and like Raid Shadow Legends calls you, and all you hear is, everything is awesome. Oh yeah, everything is good.
They're like, yeah, we want to hire that guy.
Who are we sponsoring? So
no, it's funny. Well, the thing is it's not so that's the funny thing. I do love the Lego movies, absolutely no doubt about it. All the way up through Lego Batman, absolutely like my second best favorite Batman movie. But this is not like a Lego movie. Somebody actually created a Lego using Lego pieces and did the opening intro. So that's and the thing about Peacemaker's opening intro is, for me, the Peacemaker opening intro is like one of my favorite things so far this year. Like, it's just, I don't know. When I see that intro, it just makes me smile. I don't even know how to say it. Maybe it's the music. Maybe it's the ridiculousness of John Cena doing these weird dance moves. But I really love it.
Hey, if you guys are seeing that screen right now, it's because I'm trying to fix something. But keep going, Shane.
No, that's it. Are you ready to talk about it?
Yeah, talk about it, bro.
Okay, so I don't know if you can show them. There's a video for it too. So if you scroll down, if you scroll down, there's a video inside here that actually shows it. But basically, I'll give you, while you're getting that ready, I'll give you a little breakdown. So James Gunn, creator of the Peacemaker show, has approved a fan's stop motion Lego rendition of the opening dance number. So a fan actually did this, which makes it even better. And kudos to James Gunn for not being like, stomping on it, or even for DC or for Warner Brothers not to come in and be like, no, you can't do that. I really hate it when people trash on fan stuff.
Yeah, I have it here if you want to play it.
You got it? Yeah, go. Let's go ahead and just play it real quick. If you're familiar with the opening, you'll see this and probably like it.
That's probably still in the copyright thing. Subscribe and like, because we're about to get playing.
Well, this person on
Shortcut to your dreams, a road straight to the Kirk's on that flying thing. Getting snowblind games. Pikachu, Chickapoo,
Even in Lego form, this reminds me of how much I love this intro.
Right.
It's so good. All right, if you guys want to see the whole of that, I will put a link in the description right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. God, I love that show so much. That intro, it might be the first intro that I have actually gone out of my way to watch every single time.
I did too. Yeah, no, I definitely let it play. I usually skip it. That and the Enterprise theme song. Those are the two.
Oh, get out of here. You just lost our entire audience, bro.
It's been a long road.
Getting from there to here. It's been a long time.
Listen, that never gets old.
God, the worst.
Oh, so but if you're a fan of Legos, that is pretty cool little animation, and the fact that James Gunn shouted it out and talked about it. You know, we like to start out with like a lighthearted story, and something kind of neat. Peacemaker is doing season 2. We will be talking about it more.
Oh, we're gonna make a video. I got Shane to agree to make a video.
That was a tough one. It's out of our wheelhouse.
It really is.
And it would be a total kind of risk, but what the heck?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's jump into Picard. Jump into Picard.
Let's jump in.
Let's jump into Picard. All right, Picard, season 2, episode 3. Here we go. All right. So, Shane, what'd you think about it, dude?
Well, I will say this. It was my like you said earlier. It was my least favorite of the first 3 episodes so far. For an overarching type of thing, I don't like, in general, soap opera-ish connecting episodes where nothing critical happens.
Yeah.
I don't like, and Picard season 1 had a lot of this. We called them unnecessary. I wouldn't say this episode was unnecessary. Like Picard season 1 literally had a bunch of unnecessary episodes.
Yeah, you could have told that entire story in like 4 episodes.
Yeah, like 4 or 5, right?
4 or 5.
So while this one was still necessary, I just don't like episodes where there's no sort of interesting cliffhanger. Like Rios being, oh, and by the way, spoilers. So if you haven't seen episode 3, we're going to be talking about spoilers. Heads up. So Captain Rios being arrested to me wasn't a big enough cliffhanger for me to really care. You know, be like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what happens next week. That wasn't enough. And I'm not sure, I don't know what else they could have done to do it. So maybe something a little more ominous from the Queen, maybe something a little more, you know, that let us know Jurati was going to be in danger. But that's the problem with shows like this is it's hard to find a place to say, okay, let's bring you back next week. And it gives fuel to the fire to the binge watching people, the people who want the binge watching shows, which I don't like binge watching shows. I like this weekly, you know, I feel totally, it's like cheating on something.
Look, we need something to look forward to, okay?
Yes.
We're not in our 20s. Life sucks. We need something to look forward to every week, all right?
We need the weeklies.
And when you go, here's a binge watching show, like, okay, cool. There's a couple days of life not sucking.
Right. And it's, you know what it's like, Brian? It's like, let's say you sit down and you watch, let's say The Expanse, right? Let's say you sit down and you binge watch all The Expanse. You spend 8 to 10 hours, whatever it is. You watch it. It's just like eating like a big old pizza when you know you're not supposed to. You sit down, you eat it, you have 1 slice, 2 slices, you end up with more than you're supposed to eat. You feel guilty when it's over. The pizza's gone, and that's what it feels like when you binge watch. There's no satisfaction at the end of it, binge watching. You feel like you've done something wrong.
Yeah, even if the show is really good, you're like, oh, now it's over. Oh. And because you binge watch, often, even if you get the better, you know, even if the story is a little tighter for you, usually there are things you might miss because instead of watching it on bated breath, you're on the 5th episode, you're doing something, you're taking a phone call, it's still playing in the background. There's things you're missing when you binge watch too, I've noticed.
Yeah.
For myself, who knows? Maybe some of you guys sit down and you sit there and you just watch a TV show for 4 seasons from start to finish and you don't do anything. And if that's you, you are a cut above, my friend.
It feels gluttonous though, doesn't it? It feels.
But I don't do that. When I binge watch, I have stuff going on. There's phone calls. There's someone coming to the door. Right. I might pause, come back later. But when it's a weekly format, I'm going to sit down for 50 minutes and I'm going to watch this TV show.
Yeah, I think you're different. Well, I mean, I think a lot of binge people are probably like that. But what I'm saying is, when you binge watch, it's sort of just it's a time waster in a way. At least it's the antithesis of efficiency, in my opinion. Yeah. So and anyways, it's like a treat. I guess that's why they call it binge watching, because you're doing it all at once. So I don't like I mean, I know we have to have the story arc, and I know it's going to happen. So this episode was just kind of a step down for me.
So let me start it right. We're talking about season 2, episode 3 of Picard. This is our general review, and we're going to start at the top, and we're going to start with the Confederation presidential lackeys beaming onto the ship and taking out Eleanor. What'd you think about this, Shane?
Yeah. Well, they shot him. Well, it was kind of a weird situation. When you disintegrate your enemies, it feels kind of weird. You ever notice that?
Yeah,
like in Star Trek,
everyone disintegrated but Eleanor, which was weird to me too.
Well, it's like when I know they had to do it. Like I knew that it had to happen. You can't exactly take prisoners in the future with you.
Right.
So it makes sense. It just kind of felt very not Trek-ish.
Right.
This whole, phaser set to, emulsion.
Obliterate.
Right. Right. But that's fine. So it was a means to an end. I was okay with it. Elnor getting shot, no big deal. I didn't really think much of it. And what was interesting was the Borg Queen kind of taking command of the ship.
Right.
That's not something I think we expected to have happen. Essentially, she just takes over and she basically saves them. Right. But it also is fishy.
Yeah. So another thing too. Okay. And someone said, what was up with the photon torpedo being green or something? And I'm like, that's not right. Is the photon was it all of a sudden green when the Borg Queen shot the torpedo?
I hope not. I mean,
yeah. So check this out.
Not necessary.
Ready? Look at this. So she takes over the ship.
There's green. They are green. You're right.
Yeah,
that's not necessary. I mean, am I gonna freak out about it?
I like the fact that the Borg whole aesthetic is green or whatever. That's cool.
Yeah.
To me. But these ships apparently just didn't have shields. They just fired a couple of torpedoes directly at the and I know I don't want to be nitpicky here. I don't, because I really want to I've made it very clear that I really want to enjoy this. Again, I need something to look forward to, guys. Okay. Life is hard sometimes. But she fires a couple of torpedoes and just completely destroys those ships at the deflector dish. They're green. Boom. Pop them. It just seemed way too easy. Like, did they not have shields?
Right.
There's something else that could have been done there. Also, those ships to me, I don't know. I don't like the ships very much. I don't like how easy it was that they dispatched those people so quickly. I understand not leaving the body behind or whatever, but there's just some inconsistencies. And again, I don't want to be nitpicky because I want to like the show, but they could have just had maybe it hit the shields and the ships were disabled,
something like that. Yeah. And also the fact that basically what you're saying is the Borg, whatever she did to upgrade the ship is so powerful. She essentially took them out with one shot each, which is kind of weird. But how
did they lose with that kind of technology? How did they lose to the Confederation in the first place? That's my question.
That's a really good point. I don't think they thought. I think that a lot of this was a throwaway. Like those guys coming on board to confront them. They just needed to get out of the way. Those ships were just getting in the way from us going back in time. What I find intriguing about the whole first part of this is that the Borg Queen takes over. And how bad does she want to go to the past, bro? That's all I got to say. This was her from the beginning, right? She's the one who knew where they were supposed to go, when it was supposed to happen. She's the one with the sly smiles. She just took them to the past, basically. All by herself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's either she goes in the past with the ragtag team of dimension hoppers or whatever they're called, or she stays in the Confederation and dies to these comically horrible racist villains. You know?
No, you're right. But I just thought it was weird. She's the only one that even mentioned. It's just like it happens. It's all her.
Right.
Like it's all her going. We're going into the past. You know, I mean, it wasn't like Picard saying, "Everybody get ready," or "Man your positions," you know, or whatever. You know, it was it was like she just like took control and went. And I thought that was
we're going.
It was almost like they were, you know, they were going whether they liked it or not. Of course, they wanted to go, but you know, and then you know, the stuff with Elnor that shocked me. That caught me by surprise. He's on the bed. You know, basically they've got to choose. The Borg Queen has jumped them back in time, and you know she's basically sucking all the power out of the ship so that she can stay, so that she can survive.
Right.
And in doing so, takes the power from the bio bed, which is then killing Elnor.
Right.
And surprising us into the fact where it actually didn't surprise me completely. I'll tell you, this is the funny thing. When you've been doing this for a really long time, there's little tells that give things away.
Yeah.
And when he asked for the medallion and Rafi paused just too long to inspect it, you knew when she looked back at him, he was gone. And there was that moment where you knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so,
now,
go ahead.
Here's a theory. I don't think Eleanor's dead.
Well, he is dead.
He's not.
But when time changes, he'll be back.
No, he's not dead in this timeline either.
You know, I was thinking about that. We should have gone through. We need to go through and check the clips and see if we see him later.
Ready? Check us out. There's gonna be a moment where they go back to the ship, and they probably take back someone with them that's dangerous, and Eleanor is gonna surprise everyone and save the day because he is in a Vulcan comatose coma.
Oh, come on. All right. No, listen, that's going to...
No, he slowed his heart rate to the point to save his body. Like, they made a point of making sure that the bleeding had stopped. And they also made a point of saying, we don't have a tricorder.
Okay.
So their assessment of him being dead is solely based on the same technology we have today, me touching my fingers to your neck and feeling your heart rate.
Okay, well then that's really going to make me mad. So if that happens, it's going to make me mad because what was the point? And this is the one big problem I have with Picard, especially with season 1, is plot devices. Why kill Elnor? To get Rafi off the ship? Like you shouldn't do things to people to motivate the characters and then magically bring them back later. I hate that. So if they do that, that will be stupid. If they change time and Elnor's still alive, great. And he goes into season 3. If they say, "Hey kid, you're sitting on the sidelines this season," you know, maybe. No. There's only so many moving parts they can have, anyways.
He's in a Vulcan Romulan hybrid.
I don't.
Coma. He put himself into this coma so that his body would heal. But why did it make such a big point of saying we don't have a tricorder? Don't worry, we got the bleeding. We got the bleeding stopped with these special band-aids, and we don't have a tricorder.
Well, that was said well before he died, right?
Right. The way they determined his death was
checking his pulse, I guess.
Right.
Well, I mean, is that a normal thing? I'm just telling you, if they do that, they can very well do that. I will not like it, and it will be a shitty part of the story. So if they do that and bring him back and use his death, his pointless... What was the point then?
Hey, Archmage Bray just said, in Voyager 7 brought back Neelix over 24 hours after he died with a few nanoprobes.
Yes, we know it's possible, Archmage. Absolutely. But let me ask you this, Brian, seriously.
Right?
What is the point of killing Elnor then?
Conflict.
No, what?
All right. So what was the point
Conflict
of
without meaning?
what was the point of there being two different teams being beamed aboard? Oh, it's because they don't have the relays in space or something. So the transporter, had to kick them into two different areas. Well, that is also for conflict. Because it couldn't transport them all at the same time to LLA, so it transported them in weird places. That's
Right.
also to drive story. Because it'd be too easy
I
if
get
they
it.
all just transport at the same place, right?
But that's a minor speed bump dumb thing. This is a colossal dumb thing to kill Elnor so that Rafi gets mad and we get some emotion.
It'd be way
Colossally
too easy
dumb.
if they stayed on the ship, formulated a plan, got the reserves, figured out where the Watcher was, all went down there together. No, there needs to be an adventure in 2024, which means Rafi needs to lose her mind at Picard, get super hormonal because her surrogate child died, lash out at Picard, and then run off into the transporter and go down to the surface where she's inevitably going to get into trouble, and it's going to make their job of finding the Watcher and fixing the future harder.
They didn't need to kill him to do it. They could have simply said, we don't know how to find the Watcher, and come up with the same plan. They didn't have to kill Elnor to get him off the ship. They could have simply decided this plan and got separated in the transporter. It didn't need to be this, and this is my
But
problem.
she needed to rush off in a hurry, Shane, so that they didn't have time to position the ship over LA and all beam down together. They needed
They can't position the ship over LA. It's crashed.
or whatever, find a way to get there together. They needed a way for the beam to, they need to be in a hurry. Everything needs to be in a hurry.
I don't think so. I don't think that was
needs to be
necessary.
in a hurry to find the Watcher.
I beg to disagree. I don't believe it was necessary to kill Elnor to get him off the ship. I think it's cheap, and if that's the case, if they kill him and he's gone until later in the show, for whatever reason, and he comes back with some meaningful way, then I'm okay with that. But if he was simply resting really, really aggressively, then I'm not going to like that at all.
Did you say resting aggressively?
Yes, he's resting aggressively. Much more powerfully resting than we can rest, so therefore we don't know he's alive.
Archmage phrase with the save again. My brother, the same reason they killed Icheb in season 1 to piss off Seven to make her reckless.
And I agree. I didn't like that either. And who liked Icheb getting killed? It all pissed off. It made all of us mad then too, right? So, but the problem is there's no alternate timeline or different universe to bring Icheb back. So at least we know Elnor can return at some point.
Right. Well, I guess I agree with you.
I get what you're saying. You're trying to justify what they're doing. And my thing is I'm okay if they kill him so they get him off the ship. But if they just bring him right back and make his death pointless, then that will frustrate me.
I'm just a little annoyed that we didn't get that moment where they were trying to they put a bandana on him to hide his crazy ears and eyebrows.
Oh yeah, like they did in Spock and
Yeah, listen,
That's
you
true.
guys missed
That's
a
true.
prime opportunity for some classic Spock shenanigans.
right. They didn't need to kill Elnor at all in this episode. It just wasn't necessary. But how do you
Think
feel
about this? As the only non-human, imagine him being even more of an alien, a fish out of water in 2024, right?
I was kind of expecting something like that.
Yeah. Instead, you get I just don't believe for a moment that Raffi doesn't know what a picture is or Seven.
No, it was 7 of 9. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just. I know that.
There was the lingo. It was the lingo. It's like
Raffi knew what it was. How did
or that
Seven know
Raffi knew. Well, and Seven also grew up sheltered, so it's not. But what do you think? Before we get to that point, what do you think about? We got to talk a little bit about Raffi's response, right? So she's obviously in bitter turmoil, and for me, at the beginning of that, I was getting I was not liking that. I was not liking Raffi's response. It actually took me getting through the entire thing, her yelling at Picard, which I didn't like either, and then realizing, okay, I got to put myself in her shoes for a second and figure out realistically what this character would do in this situation, and is it right? And as much as you don't like the feel of it and you hope that she kind of snaps out of it once she gets out and about a little bit, It does feel like an appropriate response. And since she's got to get mad at somebody, Q's not there for her to be angry at. Picard's really the closest thing she's got to as a connection to Q, right? Can't kill the Borg Queen.
I also feel like she gaslit Q a little bit more there, or strawmanned him with like making sure the audience heard her explain that Q was what changed it. It feels like they keep throwing that out there so that the audience is the sleight of hand is real. They're distracting the audience.
I still don't believe it's him. Our theory's still holding up. Three episodes in.
Which is, you know what? Frankly speaking, way longer than it usually holds up.
This is true, yeah, usually, but it's still hold up. We'll have to see what happens, but I'm not sure that Q is the reason they're there.
Hey, Kenneth in the members section said, "Nice hat, Ryan."
Oh.
I got my new Popcast hat.
It is a nice hat
too, but Shane, I haven't given it to him yet.
Bring it close to the camera so we can see what it looks like. I haven't seen it yet. Woo! Popcast top. What is that?
Pop culture historians.
Pop culture historians. I like it.
Yeah. He also said, "Put into a coma so the body can repair itself." So Kenneth is agreeing with me.
I think Kenneth is just giving you reasoning. I don't think he's agreeing that it's a good idea. I have not yet heard anybody say, "Yeah, that would be great for the show."
Get out of here.
But let's see. Okay, so wait. So Rafi's response, she gets off. So Picard, this is something interesting that happened. So when they, get off the ship, Picard and Girardi have to figure out how to get the Queen revived, right?
Right.
So Picard made this comment that I thought was really interesting. He explained assimilation as something that feels good. Did you notice that?
Oh, really?
He said assimilation feels good. And almost as if to say, when you're assimilated, you don't want to fight it because it feels good. And that's like a tactic the Borg used to make assimilation, to make people not to fight assimilation.
I mean, that would make sense. Like when a mosquito bites you, they have that enzyme that, numbs your skin, right?
Right.
Yeah, there's other animals other parasites that purposely have enzymes and chemicals that make it so that it's not uncomfortable for the host.
Yeah, so it sort of makes sense, but it's the first time we've heard it, and it's an interesting. It would actually change kind of a lot about what we know about the Borg.
Seven can assimilate me anytime.
Let's see here. So that's one thing. We get to see like trashy homelessness, which is a reality in our time.
Do you remember when we were? I don't know if you remember this, but we were like, the budget for shooting in LA must have been insanely high because they would have to CD out all the garbage.
We kept saying that, right? No, they didn't, man.
Nope. You guys think that's not how Los Angeles looks?
That is exactly how Los Angeles looks.
They saved a ton of money. That's
the first place they beamed down. Dude, she beamed down in the middle of basically a homeless trash heap, which is what so much of it is.
You guys, that is Los Angeles. And everyone thinks we're being hyperbolic or exaggerating. No. That's the majority. You drive down LA, there's entire alley, like entire streets that are just now unpassable with cars.
Yeah,
they've become communes.
Yeah, if you drive down, a lot of the overpasses are just filled with tents and long-term shelters.
Long-term.
Right.
Like the city was like, you know what? Here's some porta potties. Good luck.
Right. Jerry Ryan was really good in this episode. Even though, she's been great in every episode so far. She's really taking 7 of 9 to a new place. The interaction she has with that little girl that says, "Are you a superhero?" And she's like, can you keep a secret?"
Yeah.
And then, she convinces that security guard to basically let him stay up there on top of the building. Like, these are not normal 7 qualities. Like, she can't usually do that.
Yeah. Is this making you wish that this show was called Star Trek 7 and 9? A little bit, right?
She's doing the best job, I think, of anybody.
Because even though we love Picard and Patrick Stewart, you can tell that his age is playing a significant role in a lot of the things he is capable of doing.
Well, this is the first episode we saw it in. He had to stay on the ship. Picard would have never stayed on the ship.
Also, when they beamed aboard, he couldn't do anything. When Rios was doing stuff, he was calling for help, and Picard's just sitting there and it just feels like he can't do a lot of the stuff that they need him to do. And it makes sense. He's very old in real life.
I mean, he is. I mean, it's not like, what are you going to expect this 8-decade-old actor to be jumping around and do? Of course not. But it does take away from Picard and the way they bring the character together. He's not totally over the hill, right? That's not the way this character is demonstrated in this show. He's not that he's unable to do things. He's, one step away from a walker. That's not the way this character is brought up. But in reality, he's not far from there.
Right, and he's literally always leaning on something. It's very hard not to see.
Yeah, so I mean, while I would say Patrick Stewart's doing better this season probably than he did last season, there's definitely those weak moments, and him being on the ship with Jurati and the Borg, and almost him not taking the risk with the Borg too. I thought letting Jurati do it, she did a fine job of connecting to the Borg Queen, but Patrick Stewart does little, but does very little in these scenes.
Yeah, Jurati actually did. I like Jurati in this so far in this episode too. So last 2 episodes now, I've actually enjoyed Jurati's character, which is surprising.
And she admits to feeling, I agree with you, she admits to feeling suicidal and just kind of going through some of those human things that she's experiencing in the Borg Queen. And you mentioned it to me earlier, which you thought was a really good one, and I agree, is when the Borg Queen made that comment, if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, when she said, "Oh, you've done something truly remarkable," and she's like,
"No,
"What's
dangerous."
That?" Oh, dangerous. No. Was it dangerous?
Yeah.
No, impressive. I think she said.
Well, she started with dangerous because they flip you, right? It started with basically she did something wrong.
Oh, right.
But we took it, and she's like, "You impressed me.
You impressed me.
Yeah, you did something very dangerous. You impressed me."
Right, which is cool.
Which is cool because now we know, and of course from the clips we know that Jurati is going to be likely assimilated or taken over by the Queen in some way, and this is kind of the beginning of that. Picard's barely able to pull her out, right?
Yeah. Someone was in the first couple episodes. It looked as if they were blocking for like a pregnancy or something.
Oh, yeah.
But in this episode, that doesn't appear to be the case.
Yeah.
So for a minute there, I thought that maybe the actress in real life might have been pregnant, because in the first couple episodes, every shot was like in some way blocking for that,
right? And
it was obvious. So maybe it was around the time she shot. Maybe she was pregnant.
Maybe, yeah. The whole thing with Rios.
This moment when he was like, "Kevin sucks, bro. You're awesome."
That guy's been in Star Trek before.
Yeah, he has.
He was in Enterprise, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I recognize his face.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing is, yeah, it was interesting. But the Rios stuff I got to tell you, the Rios stuff is the only thing that really irritated me on this show really badly. And, he's having this whole thing. And by the way, he had like a little love thing going with Jurati, and now he's got this other romance going out here.
Bro, he's a red-blooded male, bro. Come on.
Hey, I'm down. I hear what you're saying, but it is a little bit weird. But what bothers me about this episode is that he has the opportunity to get his comm badge back multiple times and doesn't just take it. And he allows them to play with him, and then he ends up not being able to get it. And I thought, I don't know if that's very realistic. Like, if you're back in time, you're not going to use social niceties to not get your comm badge back. You're going to be like, "Hey, okay, no, you don't take it to the front. Give it to me now."
Yeah. By the way,
you know what I mean?
Like, you gotta think about it as like your phone. If that was your phone,
yeah,
would there be a moment hesitation when you just taking your phone back?
Well, especially if your phone was like the only way that you could possibly save your life because nobody knows where you're at.
Right.
And like, bad things are happening to you and you're injured, and it's weird. The kid has it, and then the lady has it, and then, oh, whoops, now it's really gone. So
yeah, why didn't he just take it from the kid? So weird.
They wanted to have this moment, which was pretty totally unnecessary. It was kind of a cool moment, between him and the kid, but how necessary was it to the show to have this moment where he does the cookies? He could have had a neat little quip with the kid and then taken the badge. But I get it. The whole point is,
kid.
Right. But it's the continuation of this, like, they're trying to force the story to go a certain direction. They want, of course, he ends up in jail or whatever, arrested because he tries to help her, and now he really doesn't have his comm badge, and they're probably going to have to come rescue him.
Oh, we already saw in the trailer that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole scene. I know there's some people that complain about other things, but my whole problem was, the comm badge was like stressing me out. I was like, why don't you just grab your comm badge? Because like, I'm in my mind, I'm looking at it the same way I would look at my phone.
Yeah.
And the fact that like you haven't just immediately picked up that badge, taken it out of someone's hand, and put it in your pocket is just confusing to me.
You could have still arrested him, but I really think they wanted to leave this episode on like a more of a dangerous note. Oh, he doesn't have his comm badge, and he's arrested. You know what I mean?
Right.
From me, my dear.
Whatever.
Just that moment.
Coordinates.
To find the Watcher.
Oh, well done.
I suppose I can almost.
Vastly more dangerous than you realize.
This is it right here.
It'll come to me.
Here it is.
What you have just done here is more difficult and vastly more dangerous than you realize.
And what is that?
You've impressed me.
Yeah.
That was a really cool line.
The Borg Queen is pretty terrifying.
The Borg Queen's doing awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be close to her. She's really killing it so far in the show.
Yeah, I am absolutely loving the Borg Queen right now. You know what I read on Reddit? I guess the actress that played the Borg Queen was in Voyager or something.
Oh, in this show?
No, yeah, the person playing the Borg Queen right now was in another Star Trek show. I'll tell you right now. And it would have been really cool if they had connected those characters somehow, like maybe she was assimilated.
Oh, I don't think that's the case. So yeah, Annie Wershing was in. Annie Wershing was in.
That dude, she looks familiar, but I can't remember where she. Oh yeah, she was.
Which episode was she in?
Star Trek Enterprise.
Oh, what did she play?
Liana.
Oh, okay. So no biggie.
Yeah,
so
look at this.
that's
Look
definitely
at
not
this.
it.
There she is.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's definitely not. She's not. There's no connection between the two characters, but.
No, but how cool would that have been, though? Imagine if she was like in a simulated version of that character.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my headcanon.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I would say Annie Wershing and Seven of Nine are doing the best so far in the show.
Right.
And then I was digging Captain Rios, but now it's kind of fallen off a little bit. Girardi's doing good, but she's got so far to go to actually get us away from her character in season 1.
Yeah.
Rafi, I don't know. She's probably about the same. Elnor, he's dead, so obviously not as good.
Not for long. He's in that sweet Vulcan Romulus comatose stasis thing.
I don't want to talk about it.
He slows his heart rate down so you can't. So it appears as if he's dead because his heart's only beating like once every 10 minutes.
I don't put it past it, which is probably why it bothers me so much. Let's see what everybody's saying in the comments, huh?
All right.
What do we got here, folks?
That hat made me think Brian may be Doomcock. Whoa! No, I am not. I am not Doomcock.
Let's see.
All right, we got. I got the top here. Thoughts on gay by Kirk rumor? Well, we'll get into that. A little
We're going to talk about that one.
Archmage Frey, Elnor transformed his Katra into the medallion.
But he didn't get the medallion, though. It never made it to him.
And they'll put him in a soon synthetic genetically altered.
Oh, come on. That's good, though. That's good.
Archmage, I think you and we're on the same page, bro. You just think of the most ridiculous thing that fits Star Trek canon and go with it. I'm loving Annika Hansen. If you think about this for the first time in her life, since she was 5, she hasn't had any Borg influence. Yeah, now her implants are gone. That's a whole other thing. And then over in the members section, William Shatner's older than Picard. Patrick Stewart. That's true. That's true. And he said he'll be 91 on this 22nd of this month. Yeah, our father actually just had a birthday yesterday, and I was like, Dad, you okay? You know, you're walking funny. He goes, oh, I got this back problem. I'm like, remember, Dad, every time you start thinking you're old, remember, yesterday, William Shatner, at 95 years old, was on a horse. Filming on a horse after going in space a month ago.
He went in space, Dad. He went in space.
So stop limping and start getting with it.
Suck it up, Pop.
Yeah, so that's it. Let us know what you guys thought about Star Trek in the comment section. On the way down there, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, and hit the like button too. In fact, everyone here, please hit the like button so we get this thing out there to the ethos.
Please.
Yeah, it's interesting because our clips get plenty of views, but it's really hard getting actual like live members in here, and I think it's because we don't have enough like button pushing. And I don't know, because
That could be it.
I'm not actually Doomcock, so I have no idea how YouTube works. But oh, it's right. She was in Timeless. That's why I recognize her. PJ? Yes, I love that show, Timeless.
Oh, is that the one with is that the one where they take the pill?
No. No, Timeless is it's almost like an extension, a little bit like an extension of the time H.G. Wells' Time Machine. It has that same vibe.
Oh.
Like they invent a time machine, like an actual machine that takes them back in the time, and I'm not gonna explain right now, but basically that character plays a character that is a historian, and so they need her to make sure they don't screw things up or to find people or whatever. Good show. Very episodic. Has an over underlying arc because like their general mission is to accomplish something or find this person, but in the process they're going to different time frames and it's very episodic. I like it.
That makes sense.
All right. It's the like button is the one facing up, like this. Wait. It looks
Hit
like
the one
this.
facing up.
No, it looks like this. All right. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm saying. But if you look, it looks like this. Not the one that looks like this. The one that looks like this.
Yes, this one.
And my fingers are orange because I was eating flaming hot Cheetos earlier. All right, guys. So that's it. We're done with Picard. We will be talking about more Star Trek in the member section. But what's next, Shane?
Let's see. We've got it's Star Wars Obi-Wan series news. It appears, according to sources, that Darth Maul and young Luke Skywalker were cut from the original scripts.
Good.
How they were going to have Darth Maul come back would have been really weird, right?
Yeah, didn't they have Darth Maul at the end of Rogue One, I believe, right?
No.
Yeah. No, at the end of Han Solo? A Star Wars story or whatever?
I'm sorry. You know what?
He was at the end.
I do not recall because that movie irritated me. But
yeah, because the whole movie was about how he got his name, and like the way he got his name was someone just called him that in line one time.
Right. I don't know if we want to go there.
Right. The way he got his name is someone just called him Solo because he was by himself.
Dude, please. That so irritates me to this day. His name is Han Solo because my lord.
Oh God.
Yeah. Anyways,
I'm pretty sure Darth Maul was at the end. That movie.
Was it that one or was? Yeah, you're right. I do think that was the case. But didn't we all go like, how the hell did he get there?
I think it was that movie.
Because he was killed in the prequel, right? I mean, remember he was there and gone.
Right, and somehow he was there at the end of that movie.
Was it like a clone, maybe?
I don't know. Maybe he's still.
Well, anyways.
Well, you know, in Clone Wars, he's actually still alive because, like, I guess he like force healed himself or something like that.
Oh, okay. So maybe there was a path.
Some nonsense.
Well, apparently he was supposed to also be in this series, but apparently what we understand is that they weren't happy with the scripts. Lucasfilm was unhappy with the scripts that were coming out. It was supposed to feature Darth Maul, and the story was actually supposed to be Obi-Wan Kenobi and young Luke Skywalker, like child Luke Skywalker on the run, right? And trying to like run and hide out and all this stuff. And then when Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau were brought in on it, they're like, yeah, that sounds an awful lot like The Mandalorian. With Baby Yoda and The Mandalorian, right? And they're like, yeah, no, let's not do that.
How did Obi-Wan even know Luke?
Well, because he was sent there to protect him on Tatooine.
But Luke didn't remember Obi-Wan, I guess, when he was older?
Dude, right? And that was probably the first thing that Lucasfilm's going, how are we going to do that one?
Right.
And they want, it's because a lot of these damn writers, they write their trope in before they really consider the product. Right. And they're like, oh, what kind of story? We can do a coming of age story. Yeah. And then they pitch it and they do all this stuff. And then somebody's like, oh yeah, by the way, Luke doesn't know who Obi-Wan Kenobi is, remember? Or Old Ben. I think he would remember running off to Coruscant to chase, to go bar diving when he was a little kid or something,
Right.
And so that apparently that came in and they're like, no, ain't going to happen.
One says he has a bottom half that's a droid with spider legs. That's
Maul?
Yeah, Darth Maul. Yeah.
Really? Sounds a lot like Grievous.
Sounds a little like Grievous. You know what it sounds like to me?
What?
What's that Wild Wild West character?
Oh my God, dude! Don't even go there. What the Will Smith? I love Will Smith stories. Like, yeah, instead of doing The Matrix, I decided to do Wild Wild West.
Yeah. I love that. I actually love the way he said that too. He's like, yeah, I thought it'd be a better idea to do Wild Wild West. So he said it with a smile on his face, like he obviously had made a mistake.
Being sarcastic, right?
Yeah, and the producer of that was the same guy that was trying to make. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie, The Death of Superman Lives, with our boy that passed away. I always forget his name. I have the DVD. What's his name? I forgot. There was a famous nerd YouTuber that made this doc and then passed away. But he talks about when they were trying to make the Superman Lives movie with Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin, what's that guy's name? I'm losing my brain's not working. Guy from Mallrats, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. Of course you would say it, and I would have no. Yeah.
God, bro.
Kevin from The Clerks. Got it. Yeah, go ahead. I don't. Okay, hold on. I can't believe this. We must be getting
Kevin
old.
Smith. My God.
Kevin Smith. Yeah.
Kevin Smith was
the most
hired
popular name in American history.
Right. Kevin Smith was hired to write the thing, and he had this moment where he was talking about the producer of this movie and how he wanted like giant spiders to be protecting to be fighting Superman.
Oh, okay.
And there to be polar bears that guarded the
that makes sense.
Solitude. And everything was like spider this and spider that, and Brainiac was a giant spider. And then he goes, and then a couple years later, I watched Wild Wild West, and I got it. I figured it out.
You figured it out.
Really into spiders.
The dude was really into spiders. Yeah, so it confirms here, yes, Maul was in Solo: A Star Wars Story. He did a cameo for that. Apparently, they're not exactly sure whether or not Park, who played Darth Maul, was actually on set for filming already, or if he was just in basically practice with, for all of the stunts.
Oh, it was in Rebels. So he was back as the Spider Sith in Rebels, and I guess he was killed in Rebels. So
interesting. Well, so I mean, for those, I wanted more Darth Maul. I felt like we didn't get much of him, and even at the end of that movie, I do remember the excitement surrounding that. I do recall that now. But why did everybody like Darth Maul, bro?
He had a double lightsaber.
He had a double lightsaber, and his face was made of horns. That's it, man. He was the coolest Sith we'd seen since Darth Vader.
Right.
And so there's a little bit of that nostalgia in place. But I don't know. With the Obi-Wan series that's coming, I'm actually pretty okay with what I think's coming. And that's, Obi-Wan is... He becomes like Detective Obi-Wan, kind of. Did you notice that? He's going to be back on Coruscant, and people are hunting him down. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I just want to see that surprise cameo from our boy, from Samuel Jackson.
What? Oh,
It's gonna happen, bro.
you think it's going to happen? I don't think it's going to
Happen.
happen.
There's gonna be a surprise cameo from Sam Jackson.
Only if he curses in it or something.
What's up with these mother effing Jedi on this mother effing Star Destroyer?
And where's my purple lightsaber?
Where's that purple lightsaber? All right. Let's get into some more Star Trek. We got a little breather there talking about Star Wars for just a moment. But now
We got any comments? No, let's see.
now we're gonna talk about
Oh,
Star
you're kind of hitting them up as they go.
You ready, Shane?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I was born ready.
I was born ready. All right, we are talking about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Finding it's James T. Kirk with Paul Wesley of the Vampire Diaries fame.
Yes.
How's this going? How you feeling about this?
Well, I'll just point out, hint, be on a lookout for a video tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Ish. There is more about this that we're going to talk about, but I want to address before we go into it. Of course, everybody's heard the news. If you're a Star Trek fan, you probably heard that James T. Kirk is coming back in Strange New Worlds with, as Brian said, Paul Wesley from Vampire Diaries. What's interesting is the story behind this is photos got leaked of shooting in Toronto, and so Paramount Plus had to come out and basically admit that it was Kirk, because I guess there was a lot going around, like people trying to guess who it was.
Yeah,
They
I saw
wanted
a
to have
lot of
control.
guesses that it was Decker.
Decker was one of them. I mean, there's stuff was just coming out of the woodworks, and so people were like, "Oh, no." Then they started saying, "Well, what if it's Kirk?" And there's always been this speculation because Strange New Worlds is the timeline is so close to when Kirk takes over the Enterprise. It's only a 5-year difference from where we're at right now. There's this feeling that he was going to be involved in the series somehow, anyways.
Right.
Now, earlier, Orville Nation brought up the fact and asked us a question here, and I want to address that first off so we can talk about it. And it says, the Orville Nation question, thoughts on bi-gay Kirk rumor? Okay. So, no, I do not believe Kirk will be a bi-gay character. I do know that is like, that is a really big fantasy in part of the LGBTQ community, that Spock and Kirk are really some sort of undercover gay duo, or lovers, or whatever.
I mean, I
Or
would
bisexual
I would totally
people.
sleep with Spock, just to say I did.
Just to say it, yeah. Who
It's
would?
not even
He's
a
a
sexual
superstar.
thing. It's more like it's Spock.
Yeah, he's a superstar, of course. I don't believe they're going to go that way. I think that I think it's been already discussed that I know in some parts of there was some book that was put out that basically that Kirk would sleep with anything, or maybe there's some ambiguity there, but I don't believe they're going to latch onto that. And I think if they do, I think the people making Strange New Worlds already know that there's this stress tip with the fandom, and I believe that's why Strange New Worlds is episodic, and there's a lot of things happening that older fans really like. And I just don't think they would come in and kick everybody in the nuts who kind of don't think of Kirk that way and change up his sexuality all of a sudden.
Well,
So,
at the least, the only way they can realistically change him is if they made him bi, because, like, we've seen him tear through half the galaxy already as a straight
Right.
man. So
yeah, and I think. Well, look at David Nunez's comment here. Kirk will be bi because they said baseline in New Trek is bisexual means everybody is bisexual. No, I know, Dave. I know you're being sarcastic here, or you're tongue in cheek. Everybody isn't bisexual, and I know that's kind of it seems like the route they're going in Discovery, because it seems like the only straight people in Discovery seem to be Michael Burnham, Book, Saru, and the Vulcan president lady. So I'm pretty sure everybody else is either somewhere on the LGBTQ grid.
yeah, I was watching Discovery with my wife, I should be clear. I was watching Discovery. My wife was sitting there waiting for me to finish.
Is this over yet? Come on.
Yeah. So she's sitting there waiting for me to finish, basically playing on her phone. And she looks up and she's like, "Is this like one of those LGBT shows?"
Is that what she said?
And I laughed. I died laughing. I paused it and I died laughing. I was like, "No, baby, Star Trek." And she goes, "Huh. Okay." And then she just walks away. And I'm like, she's sitting there watching this. And because of how prevalent it is, she thinks that I'm watching like the Lifetime Network or something.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the okay. So that's my take on. I think. Oh no, we're going to talk about Discovery. Never mind. I'll wait on it. I'll wait. Discovery comes a little later because I got some things to say. I actually caught up with the final episode and watched it at the final episode with everybody else. It took me a while, guys, but I did it. But let's talk about Kirk. Do I like this? Do I not like this? This makes me very nervous. I really want to like Strange New Worlds. I really like Anson Mount as Pike. And the biggest thing that makes me nervous about this is I feel like this is the character Pike's time. And I really hate the fact that potentially Kirk's character might overshadow Pike in some way going into the second season, because apparently Kirk isn't supposed to show up to the second season. So in that way, I'm really, I don't know. I hate getting this news before Strange New Worlds comes out because I don't know anything about the show. Right?
Yeah, you guys, everyone was excited about this, and Shane was like, "Why is this happening now?"
Right.
I don't get it.
I'm like,
I don't even know. We don't know anything about the show. It hasn't even aired yet, and they're talking about Kirk being on the show in season 2. Like,
it's just irritating.
Guys, save. You gotta save this kind of stuff for like in between seasons when you want to keep the hype going. This is not. It's literally not even gonna happen this season. Like this is so far away. You know, you gotta save the big reveals, the marketing reveals for when a more appropriate time, I think.
Yeah, now, and I think this is a good point. Archmage actually brought this up. Kirk, if this is like an opportunity for Kirk to have a mentor in Pike, that might be good, because here's what we know. And I don't want to spoil the video completely for tomorrow, but we do know that during this time frame, we don't know anything about Kirk. There's a big gap in Star Trek canon about Kirk in these specific years. Other than the fact, and a little spoiler for tomorrow, he's already the captain of a ship. And most people don't know that.
Right.
Most people are not aware of that, but he is. Okay? Watch the video tomorrow to learn more about that. But so it is possible that Kirk is under some sort of a mentorship, or they end up together. I think it's going to be somehow he comes in contact with him. But here's the thing: is he can't be on the Enterprise, because he does not join the Enterprise until 2265. It's not possible for him to be part of the Enterprise crew. If they do that, it's going to mess with things, and I'm not going to like that.
Yeah. What if he is? What if he's just part of the crew?
I mean, then, canon be damned, I guess. And so far, there's been a lot of messing with canon, but there hasn't been specific outright main character jousting yet.
Yeah, I like to call them fixed points. They haven't messed with the fixed points in canon yet.
Right.
They've messed
And
with
I think
the little stuff.
Yeah, they can do that. They can't make him a part of the Enterprise crew in advance. I mean, they could, I guess, but we just wouldn't like it. The actor seems like he's got the chops. Like, I looked at some of his stuff. He seems to have the on-screen presence. He kind of looks like a Kirk. If you want to say, what does a Kirk look like?
Kinda, yeah.
He's got the look. He seems tall. The images we saw of him, he's very tall, dude. And not that Kirk fits into a perfect archetype, but William Shatner is not very tall, and Chris Pine ain't very tall either. So, and
a lot of slouching going on this.
Yeah, and Ethan Peck, as I recall, is not that tall of a Spock. So it would be really weird to have a Spock who is shorter than a Kirk. I don't know.
It's towering.
Right? That would be really weird. That would be really weird. Like Kirk towering over Spock. Be like, tell me what you see out there.
I don't know. I mean, I like this image. This image looks very Kirk-like. Absolutely.
I don't think he's on the Enterprise, bro.
No.
A lot of people are saying he's on the Enterprise. I don't believe he is. I think he's on his own ship.
So to be honest, I actually recreated the Enterprise bridge I showed you the other day.
Yeah.
I recreated the Enterprise bridge digitally from the season that was on Discovery, and this is not the Enterprise bridge. The Enterprise bridge actually has a lot more white, and then there's these red rails that are outlining the area where the captain's chair is. I don't think this is the Enterprise.
Ah. No. Okay. Because you did it, so you know that backdrop is not it.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. There's also an interesting comment over here from the Trek reviewer. It says in TOS, Kirk said that he did not meet Pike until he took command of the Enterprise. I'm assuming that's in the episode where Spock basically tries to get Pike off to Talos 4. I don't recall that him specifically saying that, and we'll double check it. But that if he said that, then that does mess with things a bit. But like I said, they're willing to bend it a little bit. If they made Kirk part of the Enterprise crew before he takes command, I think that would crack it. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's only 5'11". Holy cow. How short is La'an Noonien Singh? Because I'm telling you, he looked like he was towering over that girl.
He's only
5'11".
Really?
He's only 5'11". Wow.
Where's that? There's a picture of him.
I think it's in there. No?
I'm going to find it right now.
There's a set picture with him next to La'an Noonien Singh, and I remember thinking, dang, that guy's tall. It might be that he's really skinny, and I just, when you see really skinny guys, you tend to think that they're taller. And when people see me, they're like, wow, you're really short. And I'm like, oh, I'm 6'1". I'm like, no way. I'm like, yeah, okay. I get it.
Yeah, Shane's way taller than I am. Where is this? Noonien Soon. No, just soon, right?
Now, that's actually a good point. Archmage Frey says it's possible Kirk and Pike don't meet, and there's a parallel storyline going on season 2. That's totally possible. But like I said earlier, now that also means, okay, Pike's losing the spotlight here to bring in Kirk. Maybe it would be better to do that during season 4, or season 5 when we're getting close to that TOS timeline. That would make more sense to me.
Oh, bro, I think there was some kind of forced perspective in that one shot we saw, because look at this. There's another shot. And he's not.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that one.
He's not. Yeah, that one shot we saw.
Yeah.
It was like a Twitter. It was not a very good image. He was way taller, I think, because she must have been a few feet behind him.
That must have been it. He was in the foreground.
Right.
Okay. Well, there's the mystery solved. He's not really that tall.
All right. Well, that's good.
So how tall is Ethan Peck? Quick, let's do the math. Ethan Peck height.
6'3".
I'll be like, what? Ethan Peck is, and I mean, it doesn't matter. They can fix it. What's up with these things not just like automatically telling me? I think it's cool that he's the grandson of Gregory Peck. Most people don't know who he is. It says he's 6 feet tall, bro.
Ah, I mean, that
okay,
works.
so that means they'll be, yeah.
That works.
That'll work. That'll work.
Yeah, I still don't like Peck as Spock like at all.
I'm gonna give him a year on Strange New Worlds before I'm gonna try to take off my it's hard, it's impossible. Leonard Nimoy just is Spock. It's really hard. Really hard. But Zachary Quinto, to be honest with you, I like him as Spock. I like his Spock, man.
I don't know.
Maybe it's because they made his face more like, I don't know. He's got some sort of face prosthetics.
Yeah, he seems more serious too. Like Peck, even when he's not smiling, he has like a sort of a smiley face.
Oh, there's a glimmer to him. Yeah, there's a shimmer to his eyes, right?
throws me off. Quinto looks like he's angry all the time, so it sort of works.
I knew when he was in Heroes all those years ago, I'm like, oh my God, if they ever do a new Spock, that's the guy. So when they actually, remember that? I mean, when that show came out, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like Leonard Nimoy's little kid.
Yeah.
And so when he actually was in that first 2009 Star Trek movie, I was pretty giddy. So.
Or PJ says, but he likes science, Brian. I like science.
I like science.
Oh God.
What else do we know? What else do we know about the series?
Said, all things being equal, I think Paramount is too nervous that they might not make it a few seasons, so they're cramming everything in.
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, gosh, I hope they have more confidence in it than that. I would argue that Mount's the best captain we've had for a long time.
Yeah.
Like a long time. I'm trying to determine how much I like him compared. I want to see him this season, but I'm trying to figure out how much I like him compared to Scott Bakula in Enterprise.
Oh, the Bakula news coming up is just heartbreaking.
Yeah, you guys will want to stay tuned for the Quantum Leap in memoriam we're about to have.
Quantum Leap. Press F in the chat, boys.
What do you think of David Nanya? I'll call him Pecker Spock.
Pecker Spock. All right, let's get away from this and get into something else. Yeah, listen, if you're still watching, we're gonna move on to a little Sam Jackson news.
Oh, but before we do that,
it's right.
We need to do an intro for somebody who's waiting. Our guest today.
Wait, he's not in the waiting room. Can you tell him he got in the waiting room?
Okay.
Yeah. So while he's doing that, I'll let you guys know we have a special guest today. Yes, F in the chat for Quantum Leap, boys. F in the chat. We have a special guest today. Oh my gosh. I just closed that window. I had a whole window open for him. I look like an idiot. All right. Yeah. Professor Alex Silver, a fellow YouTuber and friend of ours. We met him a while ago. He runs a Pokemon channel, and it's so good. Him and Shane have developed a nice friendship, and we finally were able to get him on the show.
Yeah, we've been meaning to do this for a while. He's got really the premier channel. He's Professor Silver's Pokemon History. If you like Pokemon and anime Pokemon specifically, he's like cornering the industry and killing it with all kinds of stuff. So we wanted to bring him in because he also is a huge fan of DC comic books, and so I thought this would be perfect to bring him in to talk Samuel Jackson dissing the DC movies. And he's launching right now and should be in it any minute.
Yes, and I watched a couple of videos, and I love how much effort goes into creating these history videos, and maybe it's because of how much effort one goes, and we put into making our history videos. So whenever I see someone else doing the same thing, I'm like, oh, it's great. There's another YouTuber, his name is Moon, that does some similar stuff with politics, which I would never even attempt to replicate because I don't want to be canceled in 5 minutes. But he does a similar type of video format that we and now Professor does, and that's great. Oh, he's here. Let's bring him in.
Okay, before you bring him in, let me give him the drum roll. Let's bring him in. Go ahead.
Wait.
Ready?
It's not. Don't do the drum roll. I'm not gonna do it right. So
I'm just gonna give the intro talk for him here.
Okay, you want to do the intro?
Okay, that's right. We've got Professor Alex Silver, Pokemon historian. He's got over 10 million views. His videos are killing it. Let's bring him in.
All right. Oh, here we go. I just screwed it up. I told you. I told you.
I totally just screwed it up.
I told you I was going to screw it up. And I just did. I screwed it up again.
All right, that's okay.
All right, hold up. Let me... Nope, that's not right.
There he is.
Oh, there he is. Nope, now you're screwed up. So that's not
this might be fun. Just do it with our heads all weird.
Oh, God. All right.
There you go.
I'll fix this.
It's Alex.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey brother, how you doing?
Doing pretty well.
I wanted to see you in your coat. You guys got to see his channel. He wears this awesome professor coat. I love it.
Yeah, I usually paint my hair silver, put on a lab coat. It takes 30 minutes to get ready, so wasn't able to get to it today.
Awesome. It is so great to have you on the show, man.
Oh, thanks for having me.
We've been trying to do this for probably like 4 months, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because we first met in November or December of last year, so it's been a while.
Yeah. So what's new in your neck of the woods?
Just grinding away. I'm still doing a lot of my main work, and then doing a lot of Professor Silver, always working on writing and trying to, come up with new video concepts there. But yeah, also just, of course, like reading a lot of comics, as I told you a little bit earlier today. My biggest hobby when not working.
Nice. Yeah. So I noticed, I was looking through your videos, and I watch them from time to time, but I was looking through them and I've noticed you've been really killing it lately. And I noticed your history videos especially are killing it. So tell us a little about your channel and just kind of what your goal is and what you're doing.
Yeah, so I do narrative breakdowns of Pokemon from the anime or TV show. It's probably even more so than like anything related to Stark, probably the nerdiest channel on YouTube in that regard. But yeah, so I essentially, like, for each character, like Ash's Charizard, go through every single appearance, every single battle, even the stuff that can be considered filler, and kind of put that into a video and make it one cohesive narrative structure. So for some of the characters, they span 20 plus years of history, so it can take a while to write. There's a lot that goes into it, but I'm planning to experiment more with like ultimate lineups or more video essay speculation sort of videos. Just always good to diversify on it.
Yeah, the quality is really excellent.
Thanks.
You really put, how long does it take you to make one of these things?
Yeah, so I do it with my partner, and he and I used to work at a company called Crypt TV, which did short horror films. So I was in charge of all of the growth and audience development of that channel, and then he was one of the VPs of editing there. So we've kind of had like a good back and forth, for probably 3-4 years now, and I probably spend, I don't know, maybe 20 to 40 hours on the scripts, because I will just stare at my computer just for 6 hours, just trying to think of what to write. And it goes back to that sort of just like, do I really need to spend 2 hours for this one line that in like a 10-minute video? But I'm perfectionist. And then on the editing side, it usually takes 2 to 3 days, but it depends. Like, we did a 30-minute video a few months ago, and that one was just like, 10x what we normally do. It was a popular character, so we wanted to put like everything we had into it, and luckily it turned out well. But it's a lot of time to focus on a Pokemon character.
700,000 views. I think you guys killed it.
Thanks.
I feel your pain, Alex. People don't seem to understand sometimes. Like a 15-minute video. I know it's only 15 minutes, but that was a 22-hour workday.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like, we're always trying to figure out like, how do we do this with less time? And I just can't do it. Like, I want to come up with a script in an hour, but I no matter how hard I try, I can't do it. It's tough. It's rewarding though. Like, with Pokemon, it actually started my very first day of kindergarten. So it's kind of like a merging of the two worlds with this channel, like my work side, my personal side of like love of Pokemon, and it all kind of came together. It was a fun pandemic project that's kind of evolved into, now like something more.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Are you a Pokemon Go guy? Did you get into that when it came out?
I remember when it first started, I tried it out, but I played that Simpsons Tapped Out when I was in college. It's one of those Farmville style games. And after that, I played it for like a month or two, and I was just like, okay, these games, it all lives on my phone. It's not gonna, it was just too much. Like, you spend too much time on this mobile game, and it's like, all right, I could be writing, or I could watch more Star Trek, which I was watching at the same time. It's hard to justify, I guess, like too much time, but it looks really fun. Like, I probably would enjoy playing it if I didn't have that.
I'm in the same boat. I tried to go, and I'm like, I can't do the purely phone games. It's just very difficult for me. Shane has no problem with phone games apparently, but it's
all I have time for, and it's with me all the time. You know what's funny about the Pokemon Go thing is, my kids were like, hey, let's play this. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so I download it and we're going around and we went up to the store one day and I'm standing outside the store and I'm looking at my phone at this game and I see a group of like 8 people standing there in a circle. And I'm like, wait a second, that's one of those little Pokemon things. It's like a stop or whatever, right? And they're all battling. Like these people from different places showed up out of nowhere and like did this. And I was like, okay, this game's totally at a completely different level. But yeah. Well, this is really incredible. I think you're just killing it here. And so if you're a fan of Pokemon, you guys need to get over here and check out his channel for sure. We wanted to talk a little bit today about DC. I know you're a big comic book guy. And Samuel L. Jackson just came out with some interesting news where he basically dissed all over DC movies because, of course, he's a Marvel guy, right, Brian?
Right. Yeah, he is a Marvel guy.
He is what character does he play?
He plays Nick Fury.
Nick Fury,
MCU,
right?
Yeah.
So
good casting, by the way. Great casting for Nick Fury, I think.
Well, what's the guy had not been in? He's in everything. He's in Star Wars. He hasn't been in Star Trek yet.
Yeah, for some reason I thought maybe he had, but no, you're right.
If Quentin Tarantino had done his Star Trek, he would be in it.
Oh, 100%. This guy'd be playing
sure.
like a Klingon general or something.
Yeah, I can see that. That'd be good. So it looks like here, just checking in with you guys here. So apparently he was doing an interview. He was doing a live onstage talk with Josh Horowitz via the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. That's a good name for a podcast. Happy, Sad, Confused. That's how we feel when we watch Star Trek these days. There's all kinds of bad things going on. And he expressed some skepticism about taking on a role in a DC film. When asked about his loyalty to Marvel in regards to moving to DC, Jackson wasn't sure there was a DC script out there that would make him say something like, yeah, this is dope. He admitted this without even saying that he's been a comic book fan for a long time, like Alex, particularly with DC. Alex, are you a DC or a Marvel guy?
I go back and forth. Like my favorite character growing up was Nightwing, the original Robin. So
same here.
Although I feel like now that I've kind of evolved, like I've been obsessed with Peter Parker the past 4 months, like everyone else.
Right.
So I read
what got me off of Nightwing was watching Batman Beyond. I was like, oh, that's a cooler Batman.
Yeah, they actually have a really good continuation comic series where Dick Grayson will come back and be like the new mentor when Terry gets into a tiff with Bruce Wayne.
Oh,
so
that's very cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's I don't know if it's technically canon, but like DC does it. It's like the alternate canon, what have you.
Yeah.
But so I've been on a Marvel binge lately. I reread the first 150 of Amazing Spider-Man at the end of last year, and just read Superior Spider-Man. And it's sometimes you want the gods, which is like the DC side, and sometimes you want the losers, which is like Marvel's characters, who that like everything they do, like Spider-Man, no matter what happens, his life goes to shambles by the end of the issue. He can be on top of the world, and then Aunt May gets sick, or he goes to college, he thinks he's going to be happy, and then Aunt May is sick, so he ignores everyone and they all hate him. It's like it's just a series of unfortunate events.
Aunt May gets sick a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's ask you the important question, Alex. Who's the best Spider-Man for the movies?
If you would have asked me 4 months ago, I would have said Toby. After revisiting Amazing, though, it's Garfield. Like
it's Garfield, right?
Garfield.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, I used to just see like Spider-Man as he's the nerd, the loser, but like really, like after like the 8th issue of the original run, he just becomes a jerk, and like he becomes really confident in himself. He talks back to Flash when he gets bullied, and he has like this this darkness within him and this anger that kind of bubbles up that he just can't control it. Like he wants to be nice to Gwen, but he just can't help himself by telling her off, or same thing with MJ and same thing with Jonah. So like, I think Andrew's really got that. He's also just such a better actor. I mean,
he's a much
being
better
honest,
actor.
I made the comparison to my friends, like seeing Toby again is kind of like seeing Tommy, the Green Power Ranger, when he returns in like every couple of years. It's awesome, but he's not like the best actor in the world. And Andrew Garfield is fantastic. That like he killed it in Tick Tick Boom as well, and Like I love everything that he's in.
I was doing a podcast with SNP, and they were like, "No, Toby's a better Spider-Man." I'm like, "Well, then you don't know Spider-Man because like you're remembering the nerd geeky Spider-Man, but that was a small portion of the comic books and the cartoon, I might add. He goes on to be almost like a DC Flashlight character, sarcastic, cocky, sort of in your face, can't touch me, that kind of a character. And Andrew Garfield kills it in that role, and he's a much better actor. When I saw him in Far From Home, I lost my mind.
Well, he stole the show, sorta. I mean, he got to save his MJ, right?
Oh, that scene!
Yeah, that was the best scene of the movie.
Oh,
right.
It was awesome.
And it was so quick, and it was so subtle, and it was just like perfect, just a perfect scene.
Yeah, his face, and that like when his face just crumpled, like it fell apart while he was looking at Zendaya. It was like that one scene. Like if that's all you would have showed me for the whole movie, I'd have been like, "This is a great movie. This is like satisfied everything that I wanted to see in a third Spider-Man movie for Andrew." And
Sure.
yeah, he really killed it. It's interesting that I think everyone loves an underdog, and he's definitely the underdog of Spider-Man. So this is like his era. I hope he gets another film. It'd be awesome.
They actually, I saw a report about that. A lot of people in the industry are predicting that he will get a third film alongside Venom, because they are in the same. They confirmed it in Far Away Home and in the MCU that they're in the same universe. So that means that Venom, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and Morbius are all in the same universe. So Sony is developing a Spider-Verse, no pun intended. And the only Spider-Man that's in the current universe that they're making films in is Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. And he was so well received in Far From Home that I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, I would really love to see them do a movie with Emma Stone as Spider-Gwen, and then like have them meet. It would probably be a little bit too like happy ending, I think, for the character. Like I do like the dark turn, but she's a great actress as well. I'd love to see them. Like I think she would really kill it in that role, and that character is so popular. People love her.
Yeah. We have not seen a Spider-Gwen yet, right? So that'd be great.
No, nothing, not yet. Okay, so I'm going to slide back in here to this story real quick so we just keep going, because I want to ask you which DC character you think Samuel L. Jackson could play. But Horowitz asked him, would you ever do a DC film? Would you ever play for the other team? Are you too loyal to Marvel to consider if they'd call? And Jackson said, well, I mean, we're all actors. Actors are mercenaries. It's kind of what we do. We act, but don't know what I'm going to read. I don't know what I'm going to read a DC script that's going to make me go, yeah, it's dope. I mean, I'm a comic book fan, so I've been reading comic books forever. Jackson said, and the truth to be told, I don't even read Marvel comic books. I kind of look at them, and when I discovered myself as Nick Fury, I just happened to see myself and say, what am I doing on this cover? That's something Samuel L. Jackson would say. And that was it. He put the book back. I read DC Comics my whole life, and we all came through Superman, Batman, Silver Surfer, Aquaman. I was all about DC. But I don't know what the thing is about them cinematically. And then Horowitz goes on to say they're a little all over the place. Some work better than others. It's just Marvel has that real formula down. And Jackson said sometimes. And Horowitz said most of the time. And Jackson said, yeah, most of the time. We'll go most of the time. So basically saying DC doesn't make good enough movies for Samuel L. Jackson to be in them. What do you guys think?
First off, there's a character in DC named Jackie Johnson. And he'd be perfect for that role.
Okay, why?
It's a Black Lightning kickback. I mean, there's a lot of characters in DC that would be perfect for Samuel Jackson, but I think that I don't think he wants to leave I don't think he wants to leave that perfect formula that is the MCU, because it's a perfect money making machine.
Well, and he's about to be in another Marvel movie. He's actually the longest running character to play in the Marvel movies. He started in 2008's Iron Man, and he's confirmed for 2023's The Marvels. So he's been the longest run. So wouldn't it be kind of weird for him to switch over and play for the other team anyways?
Ryan Reynolds did it. I mean, I guess Green Lantern wasn't the best, Green Lantern to Deadpool. It's not the best comparison, but it can be done, I suppose. I mean, he's such a good actor. Like, I wouldn't complain. There's certain people that they feel like they are the character, but I mean, he's versatile. Like I honestly, I don't even know what character I would want him to play. I mean, he's getting up. Like he still looks great, but he is up there a little bit in years. So I don't know if it would be like a hero character or, I don't know if I could see him in any of the Batman villains. He's a good actor, but not. You just need to play like crazy, like Joaquin Phoenix for that. But yeah, I don't know. Like maybe I can't even think of which character would be good for him. Actually, I would need to like go through my Rolodex of just like, all right, no, okay, maybe, next.
Yeah, he's 73 years old, so you're right about that. He's an old dude. And it's interesting. Did you see recently Nick Cage said he wants to be a villain in Batman?
That I can see.
The Batman?
That I would love.
Yeah.
Anything with Nick Cage in a DC or Marvel film, I'm all for.
Yeah, he wants to play Egghead.
Yeah, that would be great. Also,
that character.
Yeah, he would probably. I mean, he loves like. Isn't his son named Kal-El or Jor-El? I think he.
Oh my gosh, I think you're right.
Yeah. So like, and his last name Cage is from Luke Cage. Like, he's a huge nerd. So like, if he played Egghead, it would be. I mean, that would be such a great homage to just everything Adam West has done. Like, that would be fantastic.
His son's name is Kal-El Coppola Cage. Of course, he's a Coppola. So.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, all right. This has been fantastic. Brian, you got anything else for Alex?
Yeah, I'm just like tripping out over the massive amount of DC characters that Jackson can play. There's so many. People only remember the big godlike characters. Like, like you're right, Alex. A lot of them a lot of DC is just the gods, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many smaller characters that went on for many, many books as, I wouldn't say side characters, but like, co-characters to the storyline, like Black Lightning and Static Shock, and huge characters that maybe they weren't gods, but they were a big part of it. And I can totally see Sam Jackson as Static Shock's grandfather. How cool would that be? Like,
that would be awesome.
Oh man, imagine a Static Shock movie with Samuel Jackson. Oh, sign me up.
Yeah, Static Shock was one of my favorite TV shows when I was younger. I loved anything the DC animated universe had, or DC animated TV universe. So like, if he could play, I can't remember he's probably too old, I guess, to be the father. So grandfather would work best. But the character they named after, was it Dwayne McDuffie? They named the father after him as well. I can't remember if it was.
I can't remember. I know his grandfather was a big part of his life. But his father wasn't very much, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least in the comic books, and he was related in some way to the original Black Lightning.
I only know the TV side of things.
Right.
I haven't. I've always wanted to read those comics, but I just haven't had the chance.
Either way, it'd be so cool seeing him in that role, especially if he was able to mentor a young Static Shock like that. I mean, that would be awesome.
Yeah, there was actually an episode of the TV show where it was another character similar to Static, like he had the same electric powers. I don't think they had the rights to use Black Lightning, which is also why they had Black Vulcan, I think it was his name, in Justice League.
Yeah, they
had to like come up with
the older Static Shock, right? They came back in time.
Oh yeah, they also had that too. That would be a great storyline. Anything, the Justice League epilogue stuff and with the older Static Shock, like that'd be a great adaptation. Just Batman Beyond meets old Static.
Older Static Shock, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, and if I remember correctly too, he was like sort of salty the whole time too, which totally fits Sammy Jackson's demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I just want to let you know before we leave. I'm not even into Pokemon. I now watched 3 of your videos.
Cool.
You guys are really, your editing is tight. Your audio is perfect. Very well done, my friend. As someone who does the same thing.
It's a long work in progress. If you look at my first video to my last, it's very different. Like everything about it, the set, the look, my tone, my cadence, my everything. It's always learning.
Our first video, it wasn't even video. It was just audio of us talking about something.
Yeah, it's it's fun though. It's tough but fun.
Agreed. Yeah, it's rewarding too when people respond well to it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thank God they loved the 37 hours it took to make this 15-minute video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add, Alex?
No, thanks for having me on. yeah, hopefully we can do this again sometime. And
Yes,
I'll,
for sure.
yeah, just thanks for having me on. And if you guys like Pokemon, yeah, check out the channel. No worries if not.
That's right. He is Alex Silver. He is Professor Alex Silver. Make sure you get over to his YouTube channel. And also, you can get him on Twitter at Prof. Alex Silver. And we'll put all those links in the video so you guys can go check him out. And give him some love. Subscribe to his channel and check him out because he is hot and up and coming. You know, that's what I'm talking about. You have a great weekend, my friend, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
All right, likewise. All right, talk
Thank you,
soon.
sir.
All right.
All right, now I gotta figure out how to fix it. I was for some reason.
How to decompress everybody?
Yeah, how do I decompress this again?
I know, right? It's been a while since we did it.
Yeah, we have not done the guest thing in a long time. Are you doing the shared screen again?
Me?
Yeah,
I never stopped.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
That doesn't mean I can see you, but that doesn't mean it didn't pop over the wrong way.
Well, I'll be able to tell in a second because it'll show over here on the screen, I think.
Okay. Okay. What a nice guy. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Alex is great.
I watched like 3 of his videos. And I'm like, I'm not even into this character, Paul's Ultimate Team, whatever. That was the first one I watched. But like, am I missing something by not watching Pokemon? Because this looks sort of cool.
You know, I tell it's funny. I watched the history of Charizard, and I'm like, I was enthralled. I don't know what it was about. I don't know what's going on. I mean, that was the character, one of the little creatures we were trying to collect, and I was all about it.
Yeah. I feel like I'm missing something, and then I wouldn't even know where to get it. But apparently, like, there's like one major service now for all the anime stuff out there. And most anime I can't stand, to be honest.
It's like
Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
Well, very cool.
All right. Let's having fun. I know I couldn't put my face on the screen because I didn't have that scene set up.
Oh yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you weren't even there with us.
I was there in spirit and in
voice. You were there. Yeah, you were behind us the whole way.
Bruce Campbell as Clayface. Yes.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, remember Bruce Campbell? Wasn't Bruce Campbell supposed to play Mysterio in the Raimi movies? He was supposed to be Mysterio, and I guess they just ended him too soon. But they were setting him up to be Mysterio. That would have been so cool.
That would have been cool, yeah.
All right. Let's get on with oh wait. It's member section time. Am I right?
It's member section time.
Okay, here's the deal. I know some of you guys watching right now in the Unleashed portion are members. You guys get over to the members section because we're going to be talking about Scott Bakula and Quantum Leap. And before we leave, even if you're not joining us, I want you to press F in the chat for Quantum Leap. Because I don't think it can possibly survive getting past the pilot alone without a Scott Bakula commitment. So we are going over there. Before we leave, if you are not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all that good stuff. And I'm going to put the link to the members video in the chat here. That is where we're going. We're going to do the next 3 stories. We're going to be talking about Star Trek Discovery, the Amazon MGM deal with Stargate, and Quantum Leap, Scott Bakula. 3 amazing stories you do not want to miss. So if you're a member, pop on over. If you want to be a member, go to that link and join us.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about how Star Trek Discovery, one of the directors said they're going to be infusing old Trek into next season's Discovery. So you're going to want to hear about that.
It's going to be a discussion.
It's going to be a doozy.
All right, guys, we'll see you in the members section. Get on over there. Link is in the chat. Link is in the description, and it's on the screen now. I'm cutting the video feed here, and we're going to finish it over in the members section. Okay, and we are in the members section. Kenny the Rope says, talk about a split screen.
That was one heck of a split screen.
Quantum Leap, boys. Ooh. Oh. You want to talk about something else before we talk about Quantum Leap?
It's so nice to be over here. It's so nice to just be in our member section, relaxing. We got Fractured Vision. We got Archmage Frey. We got
This
Kenneth
is the warm
LaRoque.
part of the pool because I peed.
What?
I peed in this part of the pool, so it's nice and warm.
What does that mean?
Hey, you guys, tell me how my voice sounds. I'm using this new it's like a de-esser and a plosive reducer, and I paid like 3 times more for this than it would have cost for a regular pop filter. So I'm gonna talk like ASMR, and you guys tell me how it sounds. Okay, ready?
Oh, let's hear your ASMR. Yeah, I want to hear this.
I'm gonna read the headline. Written and executive produced by Sean Cassidy. In Unbroken, 3 dynastic ranch families on the central coast of California make love and war in a passionate struggle to survive, ultimately setting the stage for a group of fiercely determined young women to win big for all at the National Championship of Rodeo in this clone of Yellowstone.
But before we get there, let's talk about tomorrow's video. Actually, that was the best your voice has ever sounded, bro.
Oh, I'm glad. Maybe this pop filter is worth the money. And it's awkward, so it's like
Yeah,
sticking
baby.
my chest when I'm trying to talk. It's bothering me.
We got to talk to our members about what's coming because they get to know about it first.
Oh, yeah?
So tomorrow, I believe it's tomorrow. So here's what happened
It
this
might
week,
not
guys.
be tomorrow. To be
Right.
honest, I'm trying so hard, but the fact that I stopped midway through this morning's editing to do this, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it's probably going to be Monday.
Might be Monday.
But there's a chance if Brian gets like hot, maybe he goes out tomorrow.
Oh, I'm so hot.
But see, here's what's interesting. This week was like weird. Okay. And it was really weird because I went down to the studio with Brian on Wednesday. No, it was Tuesday.
Tuesday night.
It was Tuesday night. We were like, yeah, we got here a day early. We're not going to push it. We're going to get this thing done. I got the script finished. I drove cross-eyed all the way over to his house, was there until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever. And we did this. We finished the script, voiced it, got everything good to go. And we started working on the ad. So in that video's ad is a Raid Shadow Legends ad, which I know all of you love. But they're sponsoring us, and we got to pay for this time we're doing. So thank you for not giving us too much of a hard time. I don't understand the people who complain in the comments that we have an ad, because I'm like, well, how the heck are we supposed to afford to do this?
Yeah,
You
this
know?
takes a long time, guys.
How are we supposed to pay for life if we can't get an ad? And so I try to politely respond to those people by saying, I'm sorry, guys. But we got to do it. Archmage Frey. Hey, welcome over here, man. You talked me into it. It's awesome. He's one of our new members.
Oh, is he new?
He's a brand new member. Awesome.
Oh, that's great, dude.
Thanks for doing that, man. We appreciate the support. So so it's funny because last week, so basically on Tuesday we're doing this video, and we get to the end, and I'm working on the ad for Raid, and Brian goes
Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends, and Brian goes, they said they wanted the video to run on the 23rd or whatever next week, and I'm like, no, bullshit, no. Right? And I'm like, no. And then I looked at the email, and sure as hell, they had agreed